Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 4 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now, Israel and Hamas have traded accusations today over the return of the dead bodies, the remains of the hostages, threatening the fragile ceasefire agreement that was brokered by President Trump. NBC's Matt Bradley has more from Tel Aviv.
Well, it's the end of a very momentous week here in the Holy Land, and so far this very tenuous truce appears to be holding, despite shooting incidents by the Israelis that have killed dozens of Palestinians and major disputes between Hamas and the Israelis over sticking to this deal. Now, the Israelis have been complaining regularly that Hamas hasn't surrendered enough of the bodies of the hostages that they had promised as part of Trump's 20-point plan. There were 28 hostages, dead corpses, who were supposed to be sent over to Israel. So far, only 10 bodies have been sent. One of them, well, according to the Israelis, was shown to have not been one of the hostages and may in fact be a Gazan or a Palestinian. So the Israelis are complaining about that, and that is definitely taking a toll on the viability of this ceasefire. But at the same time, Hamas had already projected and told all of the parties involved in the negotiations that this could be a possibility, that finding these remaining bodies would be very difficult. Meanwhile, aid is surging into the Gaza Strip, but not nearly enough, according to aid groups and advocacy organizations. Hundreds of truckloads of aid, maybe even nearly half of them as part of United Nations aid efforts, have now been sent into the Gaza Strip. However, the Rafah border crossing between the Gaza Strip and Egypt remains closed. We heard from Israel's defense minister saying it could open on Sunday, but not for aid, only for people. Matt Bradley, NBC News, Tel Aviv.
Thank you very much, Matt, for that report. We now turn to your weather forecast. Again, clear sunny skies outside right now. It is certainly feeling like October, but we're going to have a little bit more heat present in the east coming up for tomorrow. In fact, let's take a look at the cause of the cooler weather. It is the winds. The northerly winds that have been persistent throughout the week will finally be changing later on tonight. We're going to be seeing the winds start to relax around sunset, and then from there, those winds should go calm around midnight. Between midnight and sunrise, those upper level winds are going to start to swing around. We'll see more of a southwesterly wind coming up for tomorrow that will push our air temperatures well into the 70s. Looking at the mid 70s for tomorrow afternoon. Right now, we're about 7, 8, 9 degrees cooler than that. So again, expect a noticeable jump in heat from today into tomorrow. And really, we've got enough sunshine off to the west where we're not going to see really much of any sort of clouds over the next really 24 hours. Now, models continue to try to highlight a large mass of clouds rolling overhead. The problem is that mass of clouds currently does not truly exist. So not putting much stock into that. Again, models do have error. But looking at, again, this run, keep your eyes again on the difference between the amount of rain coming down across Alabama and Florida, particularly the panhandle of Florida, and the rain over Ohio compared to the rain you're seeing across Kentucky and Tennessee, the rain that's likely to impact eastern North Carolina. You'll see that there's that broken line there on the showers, and that's before that front actually gets to the mountains. So for right now, things again are looking fairly mild in terms of rain showers coming in, just because that line is already broken and the mountains themselves are only going to create just a weaker front in general. And a weaker front leads to less lift leads to less rain. So right now, again, we're in need of the raindrops. We're going to see some coming up Sunday night into Monday morning, but Saturday, again, looking very dry and not anticipating certainly any sort of rain to fall tonight, which obviously is great news for Friday night football. Here is a look at your end zone forecast. 57 degrees at 7, turns to 53 by 8. We're down to 51 degrees by 9. Again, clear skies and calming winds will allow those air temperatures to fall a little bit faster, and they have over the past few months. Now, here's a look at tomorrow morning's forecast, starting out in the mid to low 40s, 44 degrees at 7, 45 by 8, and then we really start to warm up as we head towards lunchtime. But do note those winds. Still maybe a little bit of a northerly component in the breeze between 8 and 9 a.m. Seeing a west-northwesterly wind there. But by the time we get to noon, we're going to be seeing a west-southwesterly wind, and that southwesterly wind only become more pronounced through the afternoon, increasing the heat as we make our way towards 3 and 4 p.m. Because of those shifting southwesterly winds, I do believe our high temperature tomorrow will be a little bit later than what we normally see, but it's probably something that just a meteorologist is going to point out, and most people aren't really going to notice. It's going to be warmer. That's what we will all notice. 74 degrees on Saturday, turns to 78 on Sunday. Sunday night, again, is that time we're anticipating some raindrops. I think we're probably going to get around 1/4 of an inch, but we could see some areas get up to about 1/2 an inch of rain over that Sunday night into Monday morning time period. Those of you watching along the Outer Banks and the coast, you guys are likely going to be the ones who receive that last shot of rain there early Monday morning. So you guys are going to be waking up to some cloud cover, but those clouds should depart as we head towards 10 a.m. to lunchtime. And after that, it's nothing but sunshine for the rest of your Monday and even Tuesday. Now, Tuesday night into Wednesday, another dry front rolls in. That's why temperatures do fall from 75 degrees on Tuesday to 69 on Wednesday, but rain chances don't really look likely with that system. We'll see another cold front come in next Friday and Saturday, and we could certainly see maybe a little bit more rain get squeezed out of that system, but again, I would equate it to what we're essentially going to be seeing Sunday night into Monday, and that's broken rain showers, fairly light rainfall totals, and certainly nothing severe. That's all we have time for today's 4 p.m. news and weather update. From the First Alert Desk, I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up Monday morning, starting at 7:15 with Jim and Gigi. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day.